very difficult to create in-car video that, yeah, so many things have happened while I'm trying to create this video that I've never had this much trouble in the car or outside of the car trying to make a video. So it's weird, but we're gonna keep trying it, and I guess at some point I will figure out how to edit it or put it together in such a way that all of these pieces come together. But the last thing that I was saying is that the human body, the driving force in any human body is the chemicals that are in the body. And the chemicals in the human body we call hormones. And hormones are what drive the human body to do what it does, right? It's not the person inside the body that drives it to do what it does. So, sounds like common knowledge, but people do not treat this like common knowledge when it comes to little girls. So what I want to make abundantly clear is that little girls' bodies develop because of hormones. They do not develop through the conscious effort of the little girl herself. In 99.9% of the cases, when the little girl's body begins to develop, she's not thinking about that. And I'm saying that to say that's not her focus. Little girls are focused on as many things as little boys are focused on, and every other type of child in between. Being a little girl does not mean that your focus is on getting male attention. That's not what you're thinking about as a little girl. So even though I was called fast by an older family member because my body started growing hair in my armpits when I was 8 or 9, my focus, as I have said at that time, was dirt bikes and racing. That was the two things that I loved to do: running, racing, and riding dirt bikes. That was my focus. Outside of that, Barbie dolls, and yeah, I probably had a crush on some, little boy in my elementary school class or something like that, but getting male attention was not what was on my mind. So when you see a little girl's body start to develop, first of all, that's what's supposed to happen. That's the first thing, is that if estrogen is the dominant hormone in someone's body, that body will develop into what we consider to be a woman's body. No little girl who has a prepubescent body is going to remain in that body forever. That's not how bodies work. Her body is going to do whatever it's going to do according to the hormones that are in it. The little girl consciously has nothing to do with that. It's how bodies work. So, stop making little girls feel bad when their bodies do what they're naturally supposed to do. If someone is objectifying a little girl because her body is doing what it's supposed to do, correct that person. Make that person feel bad. Don't make the child, the little girl, the baby girl feel bad. We have a tradition of doing that in the Black community. There's a tradition of this, right? If a little girl begins to develop earlier than what we think she should, then we call her fast because her body's doing what it's supposed that are going to make it begin to grow the parts that we associate with womanhood. We as a community don't have any control over it, and the little girl herself doesn't have any control over it. This is what bodies do. But what we do as a community is we shame the little girl for the male attention that her developing body receives, as if she can do something about it. As if she can do something about it. She can't do anything about it. It's what's happening. It is what is going to happen. And when I put it down in logical words, doesn't it sound ridiculous? Because it is. It's ridiculous. And what you're doing and what you're saying to that child is that your body, your essential self, the vehicle that you grew for your spirit to live in, is wrong. And it's bad. It's wicked. Your essential self that you grew, that you began to grow in the womb of your mother, causes other people to do bad things. It's not only evil and wicked in and of itself, but it draws the evilness out of other people who would otherwise be good. That's what you're saying to this child. That's what you're saying to this child. As opposed to saying to people who objectify children, leave that little girl alone. Leave that little girl alone. She ain't stunning you. She out here playing. She out here trying to ride her bike. She out here trying to play t-ball. I had a friend who used to love to play t-ball and baseball, sports of that kind. And she said that when her breasts began to develop, they would move around so much under her jersey and under her shirt, and the people would say so much about it that she stopped. But she loved those sports, but she stopped playing them because people said so much about what her breasts were doing. So on into adulthood, she did not play those sports that she loved. And I had been her friend for many, many, many years, didn't even know that she loved those sports. Until one day we were talking about some sports that, whatever sports I was going to put my daughters into. And she was like, oh, they may like t-ball. I used to love t-ball. And she talked about how much she loved, not t-ball, softball. How much she had loved playing it. How much fun it had been for her. What a good time she had when she was able to play it. But then once her breasts began to develop, she wasn't able to play it anymore because that's what people were paying attention to. How is that making sense? How is this making sense to y'all? To shame a child for what their body does naturally, to the point where that child is no longer doing activities that they find enjoyable. That child stops. It's not okay. It is a tradition that we need to end. It is something that we need to stop. And I want us to, those of us who are women, those of us who are living in this kind of body and having this kind of experience, I also want us to examine the types of trauma responses that we have created around this reality. Many times I'll be talking to a client, or sometimes, just talking to friends, other women that I know, and we will come up on the obstacle or the blockage of invisibility. Many, many, many black women are very invested in being as invisible as they can. And I find myself telling them over and over, no, put your pictures out there, put your videos out there, say what you have to say, do what you have to do. And they will give me 50 or 60 or 70 different reasons that they can't do that, or that they're afraid to do that, or that that's not going to work out for them. And at the root of this many times is a deep, what is the word I want to use? Commitment. That's the word. Is a commitment to being as invisible as possible. And it comes from this same childhood trauma that I'm just discussing with you. That's where it comes from. You live in an entire community that tells you that your essential self is bad. And not only is it bad, but that what you do invokes evil in others. And sometimes the evil that it has invoked in somebody else has hurt you, has been harmful to you, has caused further trauma to you, physical trauma, emotional trauma, spiritual trauma. But because of the way that Black female bodies are viewed within our communities and in the outer community as well, but I'm talking about us right now. I'm talking about how we raise our children and the messages that we give to our children. So because of how those bodies are viewed in our community, the trauma that was inflicted upon you, it's almost impossible to take yourself out of the blame for that. If your whole little girl life was spent with someone making you feel bad about the type of body that you were born into, the type of body that you created for your spirit to live in. This is it. I understand the root of it. I understand the where it comes from. I understand the why. And when I say I understand, I'm saying from an intellectual perspective. I understand that this is how female bodies are treated in a male-dominated society. Or anybody that's perceived as somewhat feminine, this is how it is treated in a male-dominated society. I understand that intellectually. However, processing it now, speaking about it now, putting it out there now, the ludicrousness of it is so clear. It's so evident. So, 2 points I want to drive home. If you didn't take anything else from this video, take these 2 points that I want to drive home. First point, for those of you who do not live in feminine or female bodies, this body grows parts according to its hormones. I do not consciously grow certain parts to entice you, to tempt you, or to attract you. That's not what's going on over here. No female body grows parts for you. The female body does not grow parts for you. The parts of the female body are not grown for your consumption. I don't know how much more clear I can make that, but please let that be clear to you. Second thing, when a female body wants to go work out, when a female body is in a hot climate, if a female body wants to go and swim or get a tan, it is going to be in articles of clothing that are appropriate for those activities. And it gets to. That is its right to do that. All right? When I'm working out, it's my right to have on things that are comfortable to do that in. When I go to the pool, when I go to the beach, it's my right to have on things that are comfortable to do that in. That has nothing to do with you. When I get ready to put on a swimming suit, you are not in my mind. I'm in my own mind. Saying, oh, this one is going to look cute. Oh, this one might not look that nice. Oh, I think I'm going to wear this one today. I'm in my mind. I want to please me. I want to look in the mirror and like what I see. That's what I'm thinking about when I'm choosing a bikini. I'm not thinking about tempting you, not thinking about drawing you, not thinking about attracting you. Not what's on my mind. When I go to do yoga and I put on a yoga outfit, I'm doing that because that's the most comfortable outfit to do yoga in. When I'm at home and I pull my yoga clothes out, my mind is not thinking about attracting you, what you gonna like, pulling you to me. It's not what my mind is thinking about. My mind is thinking about, okay, I've worn baggy clothes to yoga before. I wore them big old baggy pants that one time, and when I tried to go in the tree pose, my foot got all stuck. That literally has happened to me. So in my mind, I'm always thinking, okay, my favorite pose is this going to be conducive to that? Is this going to allow me to get into that? Am I going to be able to do that? That's what I'm thinking about when I pick out my yoga outfit. Not you. So to take it all the way back to the beginning of the video, to say when women put on leggings and yoga pants and shorts and bikinis and crop tops, they know what they doing. That is one of the most ignorant statements that you could possibly make. You know nothing about women. You have not in this lifetime taken the time to actually get to know a woman. You have not spent any time in real conversation with women. You're only showing your own ignorance when you say things like that. You're letting us know the limited amount of interaction that you've had with women. That's what that statement means. It does not make you look like a player. It does not make you look like an alpha male with just some bullshit that doesn't exist, but it doesn't make you look like that. You look like an idiot and you sound like an idiot. That's number one. Number two, and I didn't touch on this enough, and I may do another video on this just by itself. It is the right of every person to enjoy the body that they live in. And you are wrong. It is an abomination for you to infringe upon that. It is the right of every person to enjoy the body that they live in. And it is an abomination to infringe upon that. Stop trying to make people feel bad for enjoying the bodies that they live in. Let's go back to number one. Point number one. Hormones develop the body. The person living inside does not develop the body. Let's keep that in mind when we move on to this next point. That being said, if I want to shake this ass that these hormones grew, that's my business. That's my prerogative. I get to enjoy this body. If I want to shake these breasts that these hormones grew, that's my prerogative. That's my business. I get to enjoy this body. If I want to put on a crop top and show this belly, if I want to put on some short shorts that accentuate, and I love the way that they look on my ass. If I want to put on a pair of shorts that I enjoy the way they look on my ass, all of that is my prerogative. It again has nothing to do with you. That's another. I'm gonna do another video, but we're gonna dip into it here. That has nothing to do with you. If a woman does not expressly walk up to you and approach you and let you know that she's feeling you and she wants you to look at her and wants you to be, she ain't thinking about you. She thinking about herself. She's loving herself. She's enjoying living in her body. And she gets to do that. That is not bad. That is not negative. That is not evil or wicked. A woman enjoying her body is not evil or wicked. That's the second point. Third point. Children are going to grow into adults. We hope and we pray. as a child grows into an adult, the prepubescent child body becomes an adult body. What makes a child body become an adult body is hormones. The child has no control over this. This is happening outside of the child's control. So please stop shaming little girls for the development of their bodies. It is outside of their control. Please allow them to enjoy the wonder and the magic and the power of it without your shame being placed upon it. Do not make them feel bad about it. Their bodies are not wicked or evil. Their bodies are not tempting. That's not a temptation. Their bodies are not magnets to attract wrongdoing. None of this is what a little girl's body is as it develops. That none of that is correct. People who objectify the bodies of little girls are the problem. Not the little girl's body that she has no control over. These people who are objectifying it have control over their actions. The little girl does not have control over the development of her body. So please stop shaming her, stop objectifying her, and stop making her feel as though her body is bad and wrong. And number 4, a bonus point that we're going to throw on there. As a person who grew up in a little girl's body that became a woman's body, stop believing the lie that you were told that your body is wrong. Stop believing the lie that you were told that your body is against you. Stop believing the lie that you were told that your body is drawing evil to you and drawing trauma to you. Stop believing that lie. That is not true. Your body is a beautiful, wonderful, powerful, magnificent vehicle that you grew for your beautiful spirit to live in. And your body is always doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing according to the stimuli that is given. If you want your body to do something different as an adult woman, not as a child who has no control over that, as an adult woman, if you want your body to do something different, give it different stimuli. I talk about this in my Pashanga classes where we talk about the divine sexuality. Give it different stimuli. I also talk about this in my Empowered Pussy class where we talk about empowering the female body. All right. If you want your body to do something different, give it different stimuli. If you want your body to do something different, think about it differently. If you want your body to do something different, stop looking at it negatively and speaking to it negatively. Okay? Those are the points that I wanted to make for this particular video. This video has taken me some hours to pull together. Wow, this has never happened to me. That it's taken me a couple of hours even just to get the filming done. So I'll have to do some editing once I reach my destination and pull it together, and then I will upload it so that you all can enjoy it and comment, share. But yeah, I had to get that out. And I'm going to edit it together so it makes as much sense as it possibly can. But y'all know how we do. Ecstasy, abundance, and bliss. When you hear my benediction, that benediction of mine, all of that is embodied. Those are physical emotions, I guess. Those are physical reactions that your body can have. And I made it embodied on purpose. I made my benediction embodied on purpose because I really, really work hard every day against the lie that the female body is bad and dirty and dangerous, and therefore we must exist outside of it. That's a lie. And so some of the best things that we can experience are experienced by this body. So I try to put that into my benediction. But anyway, back to the benediction. Ecstasy, abundance, and bliss. To all of those within the sound of my voice who are wishing the same for me and mine. And as always, the lessons of life on those who wish us otherwise. All right, y'all.